Welcome back to Simba's Mighty Adventure, so please wait. Alright.
And we're on. Okay, I'll give the live-action movie credit. The scene that they based off of this one was one of the clever ones from it. Specifically the, the luring bit.
Honestly, the one thing I will give the live-action remake is that it handled Timon and Pumbaa a lot better. But again, I'm not here to talk about that.
Well, I mean, it's a distraction. And the next one was going to be about running away from the hyenas.
Train, Joe Simba. You must reach the next level. This is CNN. CNN. Get it? Because I'm James Earl Jones.
Welcome to Return of the King. Yes.
Wait, but we've already done that movie.
Well, now we're doing it in Lion King form.
We'll return just after this PS1 loading time.
Oh, but I thought we were going to do the Simpsons.
Okay, so now we need to defeat Scar, but before we do that, we have to get to the top of Pride Rock. So, let's go.
Oh yeah, it's a bit weird hearing Pumbaa say that, defeat Scar to reclaim your throne. It would have been better if it were like Nala saying it.
He's in Simba's camp and all that. Let's go.
Well, Dwebs, Nala is a girl, so we don't want her spreading more cooties than necessary. Obviously.
But if Scar gets cooties, isn't that a win?
Yeah, he'll die from it. And then there won't be any blood spilled on Simba's paws.
Also, that 2D sprite fire effect.
The wonders of the PlayStation era. Again, remember back when people thought this was as good as it was gonna get games was?
People will say that every generation.
Wise.
Like, it's just how it is.
It's kind of like how back when King Kong first came out in the 30s, it was a big breakthrough in special effects. Oh, it can't possibly get better than this.
Like I've lived long enough to see VCRs come and go, DVDs. Okay, DVDs aren't completely gone, but compared to Blu-ray and streaming, where were you going?
I fucked up. Sorry. I was trying to see if I could put out the fire with the roar, because there's actually some bits where you have to put out fire with the roar. So I was trying to see if that would work there as well. But I'm like, okay, fine, fuck it.
Damn, yeah, that's right, sure. Simba's roar is powerful enough to put out fires.
This inspired the Lion Guard, clearly.
But don't you see, Shiroi? The Simba doesn't actually have the roar because he's not he wasn't chosen by the old dead lions. Because
Well, that's the thing. Apparently, you have to be the second born to be the Lion Guard.
For some reason,
Am I missing much from that show?
Not really.
Wait. Okay. Let me elaborate. It depends on what you mean by missing much. If you mean you're missing out on a dumpster fire, yes, you are missing a treasure trove. If you're asking if you're missing out on anything good, no.
No, not really.
Dwibs, based on what Jover just said, look at the fire in this level. What do you think of that? Because if your opinions on that are probably your opinions on the Lion Guard.
Average.
No, that's
honestly.
So average then, Shiori.
Okay. I'm not gonna lie. Average is the nicest thing I've heard.
Okay. Allow me, Dwibs. You don't like it when there's a retcon that makes what was once a good person character turn out to be an asshole, right? I'm guessing you don't like those kinds of retcons.
Not really. No, I mean unless there was foreshadowing before.
Then you're not gonna like what they do with Mufasa in the Lion Guard.
Thanks, Zazu. Just tell me I've got a checkpoint as I fall to my death in the fire.
Oh, don't worry, Simba. You've got a checkpoint.
Lion Guard also
I'm
suffers.
on fire!
Lion Guard also suffers from a serious case of Gary Stu syndrome, where the new OG character they come up with, by the end of the show, literally becomes Lion Jesus. I'm not kidding. He literally has the power to separate the waters Moses style. I'm not kidding. There's a scene.
It is raw. Like,
It gets even better, Dwibs. It falls into fanfiction territory too, complete with, oh, it turns out there was this completely different tribe of lions here and there, straight out of the Warriors novel series. And you see, it turns out only our protagonists can do this or that. And guess what? You know how they explained the fact that Keon wasn't in Lion King 2? Conveniently, the entirety of Season 3 happened at the tail start and tail end of Lion King 2.
Also, I love how you were doing the platforming, but you fell at the last minute, and Scar's there looking disappointed. Like, oh.
My bad. Okay, let me try that one more time.
Come on, damn it.
It's because
I've been waiting.
It's because of those damn vultures. I'm trying to do my jumps, and then the vultures come down. I jump on the vulture, and as a result, I get an extra boost of light. See?
I can't remember. Did Chris bring that up in his review?
I say, wow, this was stormy ascent.
Prepare to fight Scar.
Oh, yeah.
No, Pedro, it's prepare to fight Scar! Uppercasing.
And there we go.
That was enough time to prepare.
I think not. I am the king.
Guess I'll give Scar credit in the game. He's definitely not as cowardly as he is in the movie.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, he still fights Simba in the movie. It's just, well, he still tries to get out of it.
Well, this time now he's doing it more on turn, after he's been cornered. Because in the movie, he resorted to a dirty tactic first. Here, it's just, no, we're going to give each other the claws business.
Yes.
The claw.
The best way I've found of hitting bosses, specifically lion bosses, is to jump on them, because whenever you jump on them, it automatically does a certain claw attack.
Well,
Unfortunately,
specifically pouncing on them, because if I recall correctly, you need to actually press the attack button while you're jumping to pounce on them.
It worked fine with me.
Scar.
That being said, yeah, the Scar is a.
Dang, Scar.
Also, Simba, Scar was bragging about. I don't think that sentence you just said was quite a natural response to what Scar said.
Yeah, basically, this is going to happen in the same when we fight Zero later. The lions will just fight us for a bit, then when we get to a certain health threshold in terms of damage, they go back up there, and we just have to wait till they come back down before we can kill them. And there we go.
Oh.
And now he's flat.
Also, the sky was... the sky graphics in the background were a bit... but whatever.
Was that Pride Rock in the background, even though we're on Pride Rock?
Maybe it's the...
Yes,
maybe...
and they were suddenly on fire.
Not much else to say. This is legit one of the coolest moments from the movie, and I'm glad they got it in the game. Music and everything, too.
I will say that in terms of visuals, I think the Mega Drive game did a better job capturing the atmosphere of this scene, because they had the flames all over, whereas the level we just went through, they had no flames, aside from like minor little bits here and there.
Yeah, if I may, it is sort of about where, for as great as the PlayStation era is, a lot of games from it may not have aged as gracefully in the visuals as, say, stuff from the Genesis or Mega Drive era may have. That's not to say that we don't have some primetime PlayStation material, and this game still does look good, but yeah, I'm guessing that having a whole flaming background would have been too taxing. Which is a shame, because they really could have done quite a bit. But yeah, Scar is meeting the logical conclusion to trying to backstab everyone.
This ending in particular is what makes certain stuff in the Lion Guard very nonsensical, because in the Lion Guard the hyenas are trying to communicate with Scar's spirit, even though supposedly they hate Scar now, but whatever.
Not only that, why would Scar communicate with the very beings that killed him?
Maybe they felt really apologetic.
Oh well.
You know, we can't spend too much time talking about Lion Guard, because if we do, we'll be here all night. Let's just say, folks, expect a commentary. Since that.
Okay, so now we're on the Lion King 2 segment. Now, as for Lion King 2, it has good animation for it being a direct-to-video movie.
Alright, let me...
It was around the time. It has decent music.
Let me mention something, by the way. I actually do... Alright, let me mention something. I actually would have preferred to play as Kiara in this bit, to be honest. I don't know, like, I feel like Simba has had his half of the game. I feel like I feel like Kiara would... And first of all, why start here? I feel like a level where we play as young Kiara exploring that little bit where she finds Kovu, that could have easily been turned into a cool little level.
Also, you gotta love the name of this level, Fire. And we have a screenshot from the first movie. Wait, what?
But Pedro, it's not called Kiara's Mighty Adventure.
Okay. I should probably explain. This game is meant for Simba's perspective, so it stays with his perspective. You can imagine how that may make things a little difficult for coming up with levels for him in Lion King 2.
Mm-hmm.
It's called Simba's Pride.
Yeah.
Okay. So if I recall correctly, Lion King 2 gets 4 levels.
You'll go find Kiara, Simba. We'll roast marshmallows.
Thanks, Timon.
You're as big a help as ever. All right. Okay. My issues with Lion King 2 aside, how exactly do you go about making a plot based off a movie that wasn't as I mean, it still had action in it, but it was more story focused than the first one.
I'm glad you asked, because they found a way. Kinda.
And that's the thing. Like, here's the thing. As someone who actually prefers Lion King 2 over the first one, I actually think there could have been a lot of better opportunities to make levels out of it. First, like I said, that moment where Kiara veers away from Timon and Pumbaa to explore and then finds Kovu, you could have easily turned that into a level. So I feel like there were opportunities, but at the same time, I do understand the idea of joining it up with the first movie. That being said, I do think they did, I put it this way, I feel like this game would have been better served if instead of calling it Simba's Mighty Adventure, they would have called it Lion King 1 and 2. That way they wouldn't be forced to stick to the Simba's perspective angle and properly have 2 playable characters instead of 1.
Or, oh, go on, Shiroi.
Like, the end of the first movie, it is like, the visuals are kind of, just excessive. You have so much fire everywhere, but in the level there was only like fire and pits, but we go to the first level that's based on the second movie and it's just all the fire. Where was all this fire for the final boss?
I wonder if maybe the reason that they focused more on rain than fire in the level prior is because, well, they thought it would make it a little too similar to the level that literally comes right after it. Because I guess would you say this one gets the fire aesthetic down better, Pedro?
Oh, definitely. Which I'm gonna have to side with Shiroi. I mean, why not do the same? I mean, you can make an argument why it would look too similar, but I don't know. I still feel like the fact that the previous one was 3D and this one is 2D is a good enough distinction. To be honest with you.
Also, it's like the fire in this particular scene of the movie was like off in the distance. It wasn't everywhere, like the fight from the first movie. So it's like, where was all this?
Oh yeah. I was just looking into the TV tropes page of Lion King 2, and I found an interesting connection between this one and a Studio Ghibli film, not Lion King 2. I mean, a character Zira has Kovu do her dirty work in this movie.
Yeah,
and their voice actors later went on to be in Spirited Away, where the exact same thing happened.
Yeah, that is true. Wow. Now, one thing. Hold on.
Also, her villain song is pretty good.
Yeah, where are you? I'm talking to a wall here.
Yeah, especially the Portuguese version, I will say.
Yeah, you showed me that before.
Oh, did the Portuguese version also carry over the voice act?
Yes,
Well, probably did, given how they tend to correlate voice actors
yes,
for certain
all the
voice actors over here.
yes, all the voice actors from the first movie reprised their roles in the Portuguese dub of this one too.
And it makes sense because you tend to have, like, voice actors overseas correlate to certain voice actors of ours over here. Like,
Yes, we
usually
do.
you have, like, a certain actor dubbed for that. So it makes sense that the
We
same
have,
transition
there's
would have occurred for Spirited Away.
For example, Jova, the guy who's the official voice of Mickey over here, he's also the unofficial dubber for Eddie Murphy. He plays Donkey in the Shrek franchise, and he plays Mushu in the Mulan franchise.
wonder.
So
If I became a voice actor, who would probably be the go-to Portuguese voice actor to dub me over, I wonder?
I can think of one actor actually to dub, and he's also African. He's African Portuguese. So, but I can think of one. He was actually one of the two kids from Captain Underpants.
Nice.
We're jumping around quite a bit.
Wow, we went from antagonists from just meeting and Natalie being a bit awkward around each other to bam, they're having fun.
Oh, this level. I love the description for this level. But,
Hey,
we'll get to
don't,
that.
don't blow a raspberry at Kiara, she's your princess.
That's the thing, remember, like I told you, these movie clips, you have to think from the perspective of the game designers. You have to think like a game designer. From the perspective of the game designers' clips, the point of these clips is to introduce the level that comes after. So it's not a matter of, let's include all these clips so that the plot can be properly retold. No, the idea is that these movie clips are supposed to introduce the level.
Although for this level, you may want the manual on, because, okay, so this cutscene would suggest that we play as... Well, okay, I guess to be fair, the cutscene does show them hiding in the hole. So essentially, the premise for this level is that, well, of course, Kiara and Kovu started the stampede with the rhinos. According to the canon lore of this movie, Simba ends up getting chased by them, which means that they started it and hid in the hole, and now Simba has to run from the stampede that they started.
Wait. There's a character that gets replaced by the main one from earlier on and gets replaced in that situation. This game predicted Melody of Memory.
But no, yeah.
Run away!
Yeah, I'm on fire with these hot takes today.
For me,
As hot as the last level.
Yes.
Yeah.
that's the interesting thing, Jova. Like, considering the big success of the first movie over here, Lion King 2's Portuguese dub got deluxe treatment of getting the best possible people you could, not just in terms of reprising the older characters, but for the new characters, they got the best possible actors. For example, that guy from earlier that I told you who plays Goku and Olaf, he played Kovu. And Zero was played by someone who's a living legend over here, basically. Who's basically who's both a fantastic actress and a fantastic singer. So as you can imagine, her version of My Lullaby is absolutely spectacular.
I'm not too surprised, honestly, again, given how big Lion King is, but that said, the fact that a direct-to-video sequel, got such deluxe treatment is pretty good. And that's not to say that it didn't get some deluxe treatment over here, because as direct-to-video sequels go, Lion King 2 got some pretty deluxe treatment. In fact, didn't that movie even get to come to theaters for a bit, now that I think about it?
I don't think it came out in cinemas around here.
In some countries it did. It depends on the country. Like Bambi 2 came out in theaters in certain territories.
Just check Lion King 2.
It's like no, but it's one of those cases where whatever. I'm not here to talk about the movie Atlanta. Let's just move on. Mr. Rhino, what the fuck are you doing?
You're the
Having
king,
a
Simba.
Father, I am lost. Kovu is one of them. Scar's heir. How can I accept?
Thankfully, not his actual son, because that would have created
Yeah. Yes, interesting. Originally that was the idea, but then somebody had.
This people like, no, you fools.
I think the problem was like, well, it wouldn't have made narrative sense was the issue.
Would it
No,
just be
no. That's the thing, though, Jova. Like, it's not so much a narrative sense. It's more so that they realize, oh wait, they'll be cousins if we do that. Yeah, let's.
Especially with what the musical
Yeah.
The fact that oh god, can you imagine?
I mean, why not? It worked for Sailor Moon.
That's not the same. That's not the same thing. That's not the same thing, Dibs. But
Also, it kind of would have called into question. You remember what the musical did to justify why
Yeah,
Nala ran away?
that was mainly sarcasm.
Wait. The musical?
Yeah, the Lion King musical. It had an extra song.
Oh right, that
The one where
that,
Scar's like, "Hey, I'm gonna make Nala my mate," and
yeah.
had a whole song about it.
True, yeah.
yeah,
Oh my god, can you imagine if... So what you're saying is that if it weren't for that one person, the movie would have been released with essentially the romance between two cousins.
yeah. Basically, it's one of the, fortunately somebody at Disney told them no, and that's why in the movie you constantly have a lot of the characters constantly say he wasn't my father. No, Kovu is not his son, but he is his successor. He wasn't because originally in the script they said that he was Scar's son, but
It really does feel like originally they did intend it, given how similar to Scar he does end up looking.
But so every time you see the character saying Kovu saying he wasn't my father, but he was still a part of me, or the whole he was handpicked by Scar to follow in his footsteps. Those were last minute changes to the script to make sure we fix that.
I'll admit, even as a kid, I found it weird how much they were pointing out that Kovu was not his...
He's not his son! Look, guys, he's not his son. We want to make this extra clear. He's not his son. Please don't get angry at us.
We promise we won't do the same thing that Sailor Moon is doing on a very weird level. Okay, Kiki. That said, though, Shuri, was it confirmed that the writers... as a workaround, intentionally made it seem so seductive, even though they had to be cousins?
They just didn't change any of the animation, so it was really heckin' weird.
Sure. Animation is one thing, but the dialogue was incredibly seductive.
I know. Like, they did not think this through.
No, they did not.
No. Well, that's why I'm asking. I mean, was the dialogue intentional? Or were the writers just, sort of doing their own little rebellion against the whole pretending that their cousins?
I don't actually know. All I know is it's weird.
To be fair, most of the time, I mean, don't get me wrong, there are occasions where that's not the case. To be fair to the translators, most of the time these translators make these things not because they actually want to, but because the censors are on their asses enforcing them to do so. So
absolutely, that's why I'm wondering if the writing was specifically made as seductive as it was as a little bit of a take that to the censors.
So yeah, this level is all about escaping the ambush that supposedly... But yeah, one of the things that I do like about Lion King 2 is I do like the conflict that Simba is going through, specifically how he wants to give Kovu the benefit of the doubt, but at the same time, the trauma of what Scar did to him, of course, still lingers on him, which of course makes sense. Mm-hmm. And of course, and of course, Zira takes full advantage of when Zira attacks because she sees this. Because remember, Vitani is the one that goes to Zira and says that Kovu is surprisingly not attacking for some reason. So Zira gets suspicious of Kovu's intentions, and that's why she prepared this ambush without warning him. Because Zira suspects Kovu might have changed his motivations.
Well, pretty much kill two birds with one stone. Get Kovu back on track with the plan, and kill Simba while we're at it. What I wasn't expecting was that Kovu would turn on them and not take his chance.
So Simba. So you also have to. So it makes sense. Like, so it's one of those cases where, like, you understand why Simba banishes Kovu after this, because again, you have to look at this from his perspective. Like, as far as he knows, Kovu might very well be a natural spy of Zira, who conspired him, because from his perspective, he doesn't, like, he already has his suspicions to begin with that are justified from, the fact that he was handpicked by Scar, because combined with all the circumstances and misunderstandings, you can understand why Simba would be, not exactly in the mood to listen to Kovu's explanations, because he was just just attacked by Zira and the lionesses.
And nearly died at that too.
Yeah. So forgive me if I'm not exactly in the mood for a conversation, Kovu.
And you know what? To give Simba credit, while a lot of the citizens were calling
look at that!
Kovu's
See,
head,
and another thing that I like, Timon and Pumbaa are more caring than they were in the first movie. That's another detail that I like in this movie.
I guess let's ignore the fact that my son or whoever Andy Dick was died.
Oh right, Andy Dick was in Lion
Well,
King
you
too.
know what's interesting,
It's
Dibs?
not a terrible role.
You know what's interesting, Dibs? He reprises his role in Lion Guard.
Well, I
Of
guess
all the actors to get back.
Okay. To give Andy Dick credit, Lion King 2 is one of the few times where he is not ungodly annoying.
You know what's the interesting thing about that? Again, I always prefer watching the Lion King movies in Portuguese and in the Portuguese dub. That actor I just mentioned to you, the guy who's the official voice of Mickey and is also the unofficial dubber of Eddie Murphy. He also plays Nuka in Lion King 2, and he's great. He's genuinely a hilarious actor in general. So the handy dick effect never was a thing for me when I was a kid. So I was completely protected from whatever possible damage Andy Dick could do to the.
Again. To give him credit, he didn't do damage to Lion King 2 because Lion King 2 is, well, I guess it's like with Pauly Shore in the Goofy movies. Like, I guess Lion King 2 just knew how to harness Andy Dick. Hell, he even gets a serious scene and he doesn't screw it up either.
It's this thing because remember the movie builds up that bit where he resents the fact that he wasn't chosen. But then later when we see him try to catch Simba, go, "I'll get him, Mama," and then when he dies, he's like, "Forgive me, Mama," and everything and then it shows that all he really wanted was Zira's approval, and because he wanted her to see him as capable aside from just Kovu, because remember Zira only paid attention to Kovu as far as we see in the movie, so I can't exactly blame Nuka for feeling unloved. To an extent, So yeah, all right, everybody. In the next part, we finish the game.
See you then.
See ya.
See ya.